It's time for Waking Up with Wesley. Today's forecast and weather-wide discussion with WLOX First Alert Weather's senior meteorologist, Wesley Williams.
Hello there, and thank you for waking up with Wesley. I'm your host, senior meteorologist Wesley Williams. I've never called myself a host before, but I just thought I'd give it a shot. But let's take a look at this morning, which is going to be cold out there, before we get to some changes. And this time of year, a lot of people like it to be cold around the holiday, but there are some signs that maybe we might run out of this colder air around Christmas time. We touched on this just a smidgen yesterday, and we're going to give you an update on what the Christmas outlook looks like today. But before we get there, we do have some business to take care of this week. That's what we're looking at. A nice, crisp, and cool day today. And then this week brings us some rain chances Wednesday, Thursday with milder temperatures before a cold front comes in on Friday. So let's start off with this morning. Maybe you've got chestnut roasting over an open fire or something like that because it's kind of cold. The temperatures are down into the 30s, 37 Biloxi, 36 Gulfport, 34 Moss Point, Pascagoula, 40 in Wiggins during the 8 o'clock hour. But if you look at the change over the last 24 hours, all these numbers are up, not down from 24 hours ago. So that's already a sign of this milder pattern that's underway. It's already beginning this morning. I know it's hard to call 30s milder, but I guess they are when you compare them to 20s. And so, yeah, most of the area does not have 20s on the thermometer as we go into the 8 o'clock hour. You're seeing mostly 30s on that map there. And we've got plenty of sunshine today. I was just outside in our parking lot, so that might be why my eyeglasses might have briefly changed over to sunglasses because it's bright and sunny out there. And I guess over the course of this video, they'll get used to back to their indoor type setup. Anyway, look at the temperature trend today, 60s. So it's going to be a little bit better than yesterday because yesterday we didn't really have much more than some 40s for most of the day. So today we might actually make it to 60, maybe 61, 62. It really will all depend on how quickly some clouds roll in. This morning we're starting the day crystal clear, but by the end of the day we will have some clouds moving in from the west. I think they'll mostly be thin clouds, so I do think they'll still let in some filtered sunshine, so they shouldn't really stop us from making it to 60 for the most part. But eventually those clouds get thicker and thicker, and that is actually going to play a role in our overnight temperatures. I'm just throwing it out there right now. I'm throwing in the towel for tonight's temperature forecast. I don't think I'm going to get it right. All the information I'm seeing is suggesting numbers in the 40s, but I think if it gets too cloudy, some spots might not even make it below 50 tonight, especially when the clouds get thicker and thicker, like I think they probably will. So I guess if I am less precise, I could get the forecast right. Yes, tonight's lows will be somewhere in the 40s and 50s. That'll definitely get it right. But yeah, to get more precise than that, we'll really have to depend on knowing the exact arrival and exact thickness of the clouds, and that can be pretty tricky, basically 18 hours out. Now, I want to show you this 3 days so that you can get the trend that we're seeing. It goes from lower 60s today to middle 60s tomorrow to lower 70s on Thursday. So you see things are getting milder and milder. This is also going to be as we tap into some better rain chances. Today's chance 0, tomorrow pretty cloudy and a 30% chance. And then on Thursday, we'll see a mix of sun and clouds and a 50% chance for rain. So that's how those rain chances get higher and higher as we go down the line. And I want to talk about Thursday. We got the futurecast that we're going to track those showers for you, as well as track the arrival of a cold front Thursday night. So let's start the clock Thursday morning. This is the latest run of our in-house futurecast model. And what we're seeing, there's showers all around. Somewhere, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Florida Panhandle. There's showers in the region. They're scattered about. So you want to have an umbrella handy for Thursday morning in case some of those find your neighborhood. This run of the model still shows the trend that I was seeing earlier today in Good Morning Mississippi, where it's really picking on these areas on the Florida Panhandle, Pensacola eastward, seeing a lot of rain focusing there. You're seeing yellow and orange and red colors, so some pretty heavy downpours that would be how far away from our Mississippi coast? 150 miles away or so. So if the model is wrong by 100 miles, wrong by 150 miles, and it gets the placement of those wrong, it could be a pretty close call with us seeing some downpours Thursday morning. So not every model shows the exact same location. Some are more west, some are more east. So that's why I just have that higher chance in case these are closer than this particular model one expects. Even if the heaviest stuff is off to our east in Florida, it doesn't mean we're completely dry. I'm seeing at least one shower there in Pearl River County. We got some more that are over coastal Louisiana, and these are going to be moving in from the southwest toward the north and east. So you can definitely see some of those showers developing. Look at that, moving through our area at times. It's not raining everywhere, but they are there across South Mississippi at times Thursday. But that's why I said I think we're going to get a mix of clouds and sun and some rain. You're going to kind of get a mix of that all on Thursday. So it's not going to be a day for us, fingers crossed, as long as we don't wind up like those folks east of us. It shouldn't be a day that we are seeing continuous rain all day, no breaks. I do think we'll get a mix of sun and clouds. And since we have some sun, that's how our temperature probably will make it to around 70, maybe even lower 70s. All right, so I think some of our best chances for rain on Thursday could be right when this cold front's moving in. And so that will really be during the evening and overnight hours. Pardon me. So there's your front over Louisiana, and there's going to be this zone right ahead of the front where that front adds a little bit of extra lift, and that's how we can get some more showers to develop. There might even be a rumble of thunder with these. I do not expect severe weather in South Mississippi, but there is going to be a potential for that north of us in Tennessee. But on the Mississippi coast, there is no real potential for severe weather. There's just not enough severe weather ingredients coming together. So as we time this out for you Thursday night, look how I want to pause this and we're going to take a trip. So notice how you see these showers and storms. This is what the Tennessee stuff is. That's your Tennessee severe weather risk right there for Thursday p.m. into early Friday. That's where it looks like most of the ingredients are coming together with this front to allow for shower and thunderstorm development. But once you get to our part of the front down here closer to the Mississippi coast, look at how the rain just kind of really thins out, right? So it's not looking like a continuous line of showers and storms, but instead just a few scattered showers at times. And if we're going to see any rain out of this thing, I think this would be that time frame. 9 p.m., 6 p.m., 9 p.m., maybe even midnight. Now, once that front moves through, that's going to pretty much get rid of the rain chances. So we get to Thursday night, and we're noticing drier air moving in. We're noticing cooler air moving in as we go to Thursday night behind that front. And it's not a strong front for us, so we really only get a brief cool down from it. A one-day cool down, Friday. So that's showing up in your 7-day forecast, even though ahead of the front it's going to be milder, because if I rewind, you can actually see. Here's during the day on Thursday, and you can see those winds. Which way are they coming in? They're coming in from the south, right? So we're getting this warmer wind from the Gulf during the day on Thursday. But then once the front actually passes through, that's how we get that cooler, drier wind from the north and west. So that's why during the day on Thursday, we'll make it to 70 probably pretty easily. But then once that front comes in, it cools things off. We're going to be back to chilly conditions. Friday morning, waking up into the chilly 40s. Friday afternoon, an afternoon very similar to today, with highs in the lower 60s. And then the coldest temperature out of your whole 7-day forecast right there Saturday morning. I think we could see some lower 40s on the coast. Some of the inland areas could find 30s on that morning. So I think we can show you that spread for the next 4 mornings. And yeah, there you can see it. So there's your Friday morning, middle 40s, not a whole lot of spread through the whole area, but Saturday morning, there's a good amount of spread. Coast 43, but inland could drop to the middle 30s. And that'll be pretty much the super coldest we can get over the next 7 days, because once we're done Saturday morning, then we see another pattern shift, and that's going to probably be one that gets locked in as we go into the weekend before Christmas. Look at this, getting milder. We're seeing afternoons steadily at 70, and we're seeing mornings steadily in the 50s. That's probably also going to get the fog machine to get going. I did forget to mention that, but we are going to look at the potential for fog. I think on Thursday morning, Wednesday night into Thursday morning, and probably again on Thursday evening and Thursday night. Then the fog clears out. I think Friday morning should be clear. But in this time frame, when we have these milder temperatures, Wednesday night, Thursday, there might be some fog around. And then that happens again as we go to Sunday. Sunday morning could be waking up to a foggy start and seeing that probably continue right on into Christmas week. So this is a look at the Christmas week outlook. And for much of the country, it's looking like it's going to be warmer than normal. Only a teeny tiny area, New England, has the potential for cooler than normal temperatures. But this is, someone said, oh, well, duh, of course, Christmas will be warmer in the south, cooler in the north. But, I mean, is Chicago the south? Is Montana the south? No, this is warmer everywhere, except for the teeniest, tiniest areas well into the northwest, or northeast and northwest. Seattle, Boston, that'll pretty much be the only spots in the country with below normal temperatures. We have an 80% chance for warmer than normal temperatures in South Mississippi during the week of Christmas. But, of course, it might have you wondering, what is normal? What's normal in South Mississippi for December, for late December? And this is what it is. A high temperature in the lower 60s, middle to lower 60s. So we're forecasting something above that. We're forecasting something above 64. And as you can see, this shows a high temperature. There's your Christmas Eve. Christmas Eve Wednesday, 68 for a high. There's Christmas Day Thursday, 68 degrees for a high temperature. So, the normal 64 forecast, 68, it's above it, but it's not like a record-shattering heat wave or anything like that, but it is going to not be cooler than normal. We only really have 2 cooler than normal days here. It's today, and then it's again on Friday. Other than that, other than today and Friday, most of the days here over the next 10 days probably going to set up on the mild side. So as we take that peek toward Christmas, which now shows up in the morning 10-day forecast because it includes today, Tuesday. So if you include today, then Christmas is 10 days away. And as we take that peek toward Christmas, again, most of the next 10 days, you're looking at generally 60s and 70s. And I do think that we're seeing a mild and dry trend for the holidays. So just keep that in mind this time around Christmas 2025. On the mild side, now that 68, by the way, is for the coast. For a place like Gulfport, Biloxi, Pascagoula, that's what that 68 is for on Christmas Thursday of next week. Now, for a place that's generally to the north of Interstate 10, this could be Saucier, Van Cleve, Lucedale, Lyman, The Hill, Picayune, Poplarville, Perkinston. Those are places that could actually make it into the lower 70s as we go to next Thursday. So for Christmas, you're going to see a range of highs from the upper 60s on the coast to the lower 70s inland. That's what today's Christmas outlook looks like. Fortunately, it looks like at least it will be mostly dry, so at least we won't have any travel issues. But yeah, not really the classic kind of cold that you're bundled up for. You're in the cozy warmth of your home with family and friends trying to get out of the cold. The weather outside is frightful, but the fire delightful, et cetera, et cetera. It's not really looking like that setup. It's just going to be nice outside. I mean, there's going to be a lot of parts of the country that have this kind of weather. So we'll have a lot of company with milder, generally nice weather. This is the type of weather that is comfortable in short sleeves. So, it's convenient weather, if you want to call it that. Convenient Christmas weather. That's the best I can dress that up. The most silver lining, the glass as half full as possible for that. Because like I said, I know we like to have it cold a lot of times around the holiday. Now, speaking of the holiday, this is the last thing I'll do before I wrap up. Taking a look at Christmas extremes of Gulfport, Biloxi. So this is looking at our weather records, which date all the way back to the 1890s. And if you see any discrepancies with this information, don't take it up with me. I've only been here for 30 or 40 years or something like that. These weather records are over a century old, and I am not the keeper of those records. The National Weather Service in New Orleans is the keeper of that weather record period dating back to the 1890s. So if you see any discrepancies with that would be something you ring their phone about. I always show this, and every time I check the record, it shows that there's no record of a Christmas snow in the Gulfport, Biloxi area since the 1890s. And everyone always says, well, actually, and I'm like, well, I don't know. I wasn't here for it. So I didn't make these weather records, but I am reporting them to you. And yeah, the warmest Christmas, 76. We're not going to be warmer than that on Christmas Day. So we're not record setting, right? That might surprise you. It might seem like Christmas has been warmer than that, but apparently not. Apparently that's the warmest one that we found in Gulfport, Biloxi. It was in the year 2016. There's never been a Christmas at 90 degrees. There's never been a Christmas at 80 degrees in Gulfport, Biloxi since records began being kept in the 1890s. The warmest ever, 76. And we're not even going to do that this year. So, 68, it's almost 10 degrees away. It's above normal, but it's not even approaching record-setting territory. Coldest Christmas, 11 degrees, and that was back in the 1980s. That might have been a snow year, I can't remember, or a year when there was a snowstorm around the region. Rainiest Christmas was 1.5 inches of rain on Christmas Day in 1976. And yeah, according to the records, there's no record of snow on Christmas Day in Gulfport, Biloxi, measurable snow on Christmas Day. So it has to be more than a trace. It has to at least be 1/100th of an inch of snow, if that's how they measure snow. Might be 1/10 of an inch. I forget how they measure snow because it hardly ever happens here, and it takes a lot to remember something that doesn't really ever happen here. All right, so that pretty much does it for this edition of Waking Up with Wesley. I've been Senior Meteorologist Wesley Williams, and we'll see you again next time.
Thank you for watching Waking Up with Wesley with WLOX First Alert Weather Senior Meteorologist Wesley Williams.